Morning students. See chapter 3 fluids we are learning now. Already we have learned about pressure, thrust, relative density we have learned. What is the formula for pressure? Already we have learned the formula for pressure. What is the formula for pressure? P equal to force divided by area. Force or thrust. What is thrust? Force acting on a body is called thrust. This already we have learned. Just we can revise the portion. So pressure equal to thrust divided by area. What is thrust? Force acting on a body is called thrust. So what is the unit of pressure? Pascal is the unit of pressure. What is the unit of pressure? Pascal is the unit of pressure. Another one formula also you have learned for pressure. P equal to H rho G. What is H? Density of a liquid. What is rho? What is H? Height of a liquid. What is rho? Density of a liquid. G, acceleration due to gravity. So two formulas are there. By using this formula, we can do the problem. Last class we have learned this everything. How to do the problem. Suppose the force and area given means you have to use the formula P equal to F divided by A. Suppose the density of a liquid and height of a liquid given means you have to use the formula P equal to H rho G. Now the unit of pressure is Pascal. Okay, next relative density. Last class we have learned about relative density. So what is the formula for the relative density? Density of a substance divided by density of water. So what's the formula for relative density? Density of a substance divided by density of water. So the relative density formula. What is the unit of relative density? No unit. What is the unit of relative density? No unit. So by using this formula, last class we have written problem, exercise problem. So the density of a substance, which substance given? Mercury given now. So density of a substance divided by density of water. Just divide and write the answer. No need to write unit. Why no need to write unit? Because relative density has no unit. Now today we are going to learn about hydrometer. What is the use of hydrometer? Why we are using this hydrometer? What is the use of hydrometer? Hydrometer is used to find the relative density of a liquid. So what is the use of hydrometer? To use to find the relative density of a liquid. Which liquid if we use means also we can find the relative density or density of a liquid we can find by using this hydrometer. Now say what is the use of hydrometer. Hydrometer is an instrument used to measure the relative density of a liquid. Now which principles here used in the hydrometer means flotation principle. What is the principle used in hydrometer? Flotation principle. Now we have learned what is the use of hydrometer and which principles used in hydrometer. So what is the use of hydrometer? Hydrometer is used to measure the relative density of a liquid. Now what is the principle used in hydrometer? Flotation. The principle used in hydrometer is flotation principle used. So what is the law of flotation? We don't know the law of flotation. Now we can already we learned how the object float, how the object sink. We have learned now because of the density only. The object is floating and the object is sink. Now this laws of flotation, suppose this is the hydrometer. After I will explain this hydrometer. Suppose this is the hydrometer. Here mercury is there. Now liquid we are taking here to find the, what is the use of this hydrometer? To find the relative density of a liquid. Now, so here the fluid is there. Now the weight of the fluid. So the laws of flotation, the weight of the fluid. Here we are using fluid. Fluid means what? Liquid. So the weight of the fluid which the hydrometer is immersed. Here the weight of the fluid in which the hydrometer is immersed is equal to the weight of the hydrometer. The weight of the fluid when which the hydrometer is immersed, some water will displaced. That you know. When we immerse any object in a water, some water is displaced. No. So is equal to the weight of hydrometer. How much this weight, the hydrometer weight, that much the liquid is displaced. That will be loss of flotation. So which principle used for hydrometer? Flotation principle is. What is the principle? What is flotation? Flotation means the weight of the liquid displaced to which the hydrometer is immersed is equal to the weight of the hydrometer. So this is the principle used in flotation. Now what is hydrometer? Why we are using this hydrometer? Why we are using this hydrometer? To find the relative density of a liquid, we are using this hydrometer. Which principles used in the hydrometer? Flotation. So what is flotation? The weight of the liquid is displaced when the hydrometer is immersed in a liquid is equal to the weight of the hydrometer. Now we can see the construction of a hydrometer. Look at this picture. This is the hydrometer. We can see the construction of a hydrometer. Hydrometer consists of a cylindrical stem. See, the hydrometer consists of a cylindrical stem having a spherical bulb at the lower end. Having a spherical bulb at the lower end. Now look at this. Hydrometer consists of a cylindrical stem having a spherical bulb at its lower end. See, the lower spherical bulb is partially filled with lead shot or mercury. In this lower bulb, what is that? Mercury or lead shot. Lead shot or mercury, anyone we have to take. Why we are taking this mercury or lead shot means then only the hydrometer will float vertically. So we are using in this bulb, which one we are using? Mercury or lead shot. So these are the constructions of a hydrometer. Once again, all of you listen. Hydrometer consists of a cylindrical stem having a spherical bulb. It consists of a cylindrical stem having a spherical bulb at its lower end. Now the lower end, the bulb is filled partially lead shot or mercury. So why we are using this lead shot or mercury? It helps the hydrometer float vertically in a liquid. So these are the construction of a hydrometer. Now say the students, what is the use of this hydrometer? To find the relative density of a liquid. Which principle used in hydrometer? Flotation principle used in hydrometer. Now what is the construction of a hydrometer? So the hydrometer consists of a cylindrical stem having a spherical bulb at its lower end. Now this lower end, which one we are using? Mercury or lead shot used. Why we are using this mercury or lead shot? Because the hydrometer want to stand vertically in a liquid. Now look at this picture. The cylindrical stem has markings. Did you see that marking? In a cylindrical stem, by using this marking only, we can find the relative density of a liquid. Now here we are using a liquid. Now the liquid is tested and poured in a glass jar. So the liquid is tested and poured in a glass jar. The hydrometer is gently lowered into the liquid until it float freely. So the hydrometer is gently lowered into the liquid until it floats freely. The reading against the level of the liquid shows the relative density of a liquid. By using this hydrometer, we can see the relative density of this liquid. Now, once again, construction, all of you know how it worked. Now, the liquid, the tested liquid is there now. So, we have to immerse this hydrometer. So, it float freely in the on the liquid. So we can find the relative density of a liquid by using this hydrometer. Next one is lactometer. This lactometer and one form of hydrometer is called lactometer. Why we are using this lactometer is to find the purity of milk. Why we are using this lactometer? To find the purity of milk. Hydrometer, why we used hydrometer? To find the relative density of a liquid. The lactometer is one of the form of hydrometer. So the lactometer is used to find the purity of milk. So to find the purity of milk, which instrument use? Lactometer. To find the relative density of a liquid, which instrument use? Hydrometer. Purity of milk, which instrument? Lactometer. That's one word question. So to dash instrument is used to find the purity of milk. Which one? Lactometer. Now we can study the construction of a lactometer. How the lactometer worked. That also we can learn. Look at this picture. Lactometer consists of a long graduated test tube with a cylindrical bulb, the graduation ranging from 15 at the top to 45 at the bottom. Here 15, 20, 25, 30, like that 45 at the bottom. So 15 at the top and 45 at the bottom. The test tube is filled with air, so this air chamber causes the instrument to float vertically. So the test tube is filled with air, so this air chamber causes the instrument to float vertically. Now what is this? Lactometer. What is the use of lactometer? To check the purity of milk. To check the purity of milk. Which principle used means the principle of gravity. So the principle used in lactometer is the principle of gravity of milk. So what is the use of lactometer? To check the purity of milk. Which principle used in the lactometer? The principle of gravity of milk principle used in the lactometer. So far we have learned lactometer and hydrometer. So this detailed answer, hydrometer, construction working of a hydrometer, detailed answer. Now first you have to write what is the why we are using this hydrometer and which principles used in hydrometer, then construction and working of a hydrometer with the diagram. So diagram you have seen what is the use of hydrometer? To find the relative density of a liquid. Now what is the use of lactometer? To find the purity of milk. So the milk, how purity is there, how much water they have added. For that purity we can see by using this lactometer. Okay, so just to compare and study, what is the use of lactometer? To find the purity of milk. So what is the use of hydrometer? To find the relative density of a liquid or density of a liquid. Relative density or density of a liquid. Now what is relative density? Already we have learned. Relative density means what? Density of a substance to the ratio of density of the substance to the density of water. So what is relative density? The ratio of density of a substance to the density of water. So like that we have find out the relative density of a liquid by using this hydrometer. Very important question. You have to learn this hydrometer. Next one is the buoyancy force or upthrust force. Buoyancy or upthrust force. Already you have learned the body sink or float. You have learned the condition. No? Suppose here a beaker containing water. Just listen, the beaker containing water. Suppose here ball. So ball will float. All of you know this. No, ball float on a liquid. What is the reason? Float on any object. Flow in anywhere. So which force is there? Gravitational force act always downwards. All of you know the gravitational force act always downwards and upthrust force act upward. Okay, two forces are there. One is the gravitational force, another one is the upthrust force. So according to this object, the upthrust force will move. Now listen, the ball, the weight of the ball, when compared to the weight of the liquid, the weight of the ball is very less. When compared to the weight of the liquid, the weight of the ball is very less. So the upthrust force is greater. Okay, so the upthrust force is greater. So the object is float. Why the object is floating? The weight of the object is less than the weight of a liquid. So, because of this the weight less of the object, so the upthrust force is greater. So, next diagram. A beaker of water. Suppose we are using a iron nail. What happened? The nail is sink on a water. No. So why it is sinking? So the weight of the object is greater than the weight of the liquid. So what is that? The weight of the object is greater than the weight of the liquid. So here gravitational force acts downward. No. The upthrust force acts upward. So why it is sinking? The upthrust force is less when compared to gravitational force. So the object is sinking. Okay. Now here the upthrust force is greater than the gravitational force. So the object is here. So this will be buoyancy. So buoyancy force means some objects will float, some objects will sink. This all of you know. What is the reason why the object is floating? Because of the weight of the object is less than the weight of the liquid, the object will float. So now here the upthrust force is greater than the gravitational force that the object is. Now here see the object sink. What is the reason why the object sink? Here the weight of the object is greater than the weight of the liquid. Now the gravitational force is greater than this upthrust force. Any force fall on the liquid or any object fall on the liquid, which force is there? Upthrust force also there, gravitational force also there. According to the weight of an object, the upthrust force are greater or less because of the weight of the object. Suppose we fall on the water, means what happens? Our body weight is there, no? There are also upthrust force and gravitational forces there. Okay. According to that, our body will sink. Our body will sink. If we fall on the water, our body will sink. If we know to swim, means we can swim on the liquid. Now here, if our body weight is there, no, the weight is greater than the upthrust force, so we will sink. Okay. Now according to this object, this force only we are saying which force? Buoyancy force or upthrust force. Can you understand this? Today we have learned about lactometer, hydrometer and buoyancy force. So already you have learned the floating and sink. You have learned. On the day mark and give question also. And I have given assignment question also. 2 assignment question I have given. Just you have study and write. Then today's assignment is hydrometer. Today you have learned hydrometer. So the hydrometer assignment. So you have to write first why the hydrometer, for what purpose we are using. Then the principle, the construction and working diagram. This all that has means only you will get 4 mark or 7 mark question, that is hydrometer. So today's assignment is hydrometer. Now take a book, all of you. First choose the correct answer. First choose the correct answer. First one, the size of an air bubble rising up in water, the answer is increases. Second one, clouds float in atmosphere because of their low density. Third one, in a pressure cooker, the food is cooked faster because the option B, increased pressure rises the boiling point. Next, fourth one, an empty plastic bottle closed with a airtight stopper is pushed down in a bucket filled with water. As the bottle is pushed down, there is an increasing force on the bottom. This is because C option, pressure increases with the depth. Pressure increases with the depth. Now, Roman letter 2, fill in the blanks. The weight of the body immersed in a liquid appears to be less than actual weight. Less than. The answer is less. Second one, the instrument used to measure the atmospheric pressure is barometer. The instrument used to measure the atmospheric pressure is barometer. Noted that. Then third one, The magnitude of buoyant force acting on an object immersed in a liquid depends on the density of the liquid. The answer is density of the liquid. Fourth one, a drinking straw works on the extents of atmospheric pressure. Extents of atmospheric pressure. So, filling the blanks over, choose over. The next one, choose the filling the true or false. First one, the weight of the fluid displaced determines the buoyant force of an object. True. Second one, the shape of an object helps to determine whether the object will float or not. False. Third one, the foundations of high-rise buildings are kept wide so that they may exert moving pressure on the ground. False. Archimedes' principle can also be applied to gases. True. Hydraulic press is used in the extraction of oil from oil seed. True. So, Rome letter 1, Rome letter 2, Rome letter 3 over. Next one, Rome letter 6, question number 4. Explain the construction working of a hydrometer with diagram. Page number 33. A direct reading instrument used to measuring the density or relative density of a liquid is called hydrometer. Hydrometer is based on the principle of flotation. This is the law of flotation. The weight of the liquid displaced by the immersed portion of the hydrometer is equal to the weight of the hydrometer. So this next here construction. Here you have write the heading for construction and next write hydrometer consists of a cylindrical stem having a spherical bulb at its lower end and narrow tube at its upper end. The lower spherical bulb is partially filled with lead shot or mercury. This helps hydrometer to float or stand vertically in liquids. The next paragraph, the liquid is to be tested is poured into a glass jar. A hydrometer is gently lowered in the liquid until it floats freely. The reading against the level of the liquid touching the tube gives the relative density of a liquid. This much. Just mark it from here to here. Diagram, hydrometer diagram, you have to draw this diagram and mark the parts. Hydrometer, glass tube, lead shot or mercury. Like that you have to mark the parts. Okay, diagram, construction and working uses which principles used. This much you have to write a detailed answer, very important question. Just to mark it. Next, Rome letter 4, match the following. Density. First one, mass divided by volume. 1 gram weight. Answer is 980 dyne. Pascal's law. The answer is pressure. Pressure exerted by a liquid, H rho G. Lactometer milk. So match the following. Today's assignments question, Rome letter 6, question number 4. Explain the construction working of a hydrometer with the diagram. So you have to write already 3 or 4 assignments over. Today also one assignment. Daily one class I am giving assignment. Just to study and write in a booklet. After school reopen you have to show that answer. Okay, thank you.